impersonal feature of the whole spirit without individuality of the living being. So the first sentence here is that attaining scientific knowledge of the personality of God means seeing oneself simultaneously. And there's a question mark there. So the question is, what does that mean, seeing the self? So that within us, there's the soul, right? That's the consciousness. And next to the soul is the super soul, Paramatma. So that's what that means. Attaining scientific knowledge of the personality of God, it means seeing one's own self simultaneously. So that's a very elevated level to see the soul and the super soul. Yeah. Or not really to see, but with knowledge, we see that there's a soul and the super soul within everyone. So to be able to see that with knowledge, it's very elevated, actually. What Prabhupada says here, this is scientific, this is real scientific knowledge. And now nowadays, in modern science, it's scientific if you can see it, right? If you can't see it, they don't buy it, right? But there's a problem there because there's a lot of things that we can't see, but we know exist. For instance, thoughts, right? No scientist has ever seen a thought. How about time? Has anybody ever seen time? You can't see time. Yeah. Air. You can't even see air. That's amazing, huh? It's something we're within, if we don't have air, we're all in big trouble. Nobody can see it because it's subtle. It's subtle. And Krishna is known as the most subtle. The soul is also subtle. Even Krishna says in the Gita that some, they look on the soul as amazing. Some describe him as amazing, and some hear him as amazing, and some, even after hearing about him, can't understand him at all. Even spiritual people. Just to understand the soul. It's not what to speak of Krishna or the super soul. Very difficult to understand. One has to take seriously spiritual life, and Krishna, he reveals. Yasya Deve Parabhati Yatha Deve Tadavila. Those who have great faith in Krishna and the spiritual master, then Krishna, he reveals all the imports. So faith, a lot of faith is needed. And that comes from service. So continuing this, the materialist does not believe in the existence of the spirit soul, and empiric philosophers believe in the impersonal feature of the whole spirit without individuality of the living being. But the transcendentalists affirm that the soul and the supersoul are two different identities, qualitatively one, but quantitatively different. And Prabhupada gives the example of in a tree that you got two birds. Yeah. And one bird is observing the actions of the other. So that's the super soul. He's observing. So within us, there's two birds. There are two souls. And one is observing all our activities, and one, he's enjoying the fruits. He's trying to enjoy the fruits of the activities. But he's getting entangled. So that's the problem. So the whole point of spiritual life is to become disentangled. We're trying to get disentangled. You get entangled in something, it's uncomfortable, yeah. We never see that, we get like sometimes when you're chanting your japa, your beads get a little caught, in a knot, so you gotta pull them out and shake them out. So, but we get entangled. We get kind of, as Krishna says here, or as he had stated here, thus the knot in the heart. So there's a knot in the heart. And causes a lot of problems. Unfortunately, you can't just shake it and get the knots out. It's a little more complicated than that. We have to actually surrender to Krishna. And this is how to remove the knot And sometimes knots are so difficult, practically impossible. So what do you do then? Take a knife, right? You chop it, you give it a chopper. So here it says the knot in the heart is pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. Misgiving means difficulties. Yeah. So many difficulties are cut to pieces. We become free of the difficulties of the material world. Just like a devotee for a devotee. And the material world, as the Krishna says, it's dukkhalayam asasam. It's a terrible place. Just a place of misery from the highest plant material down to the lowest. But for a devotee, it's Vishram Purnam Sukhayate. It's a place of joy. How is that? It's a place of misery, but for a devotee, it's a place of joy. Vishram Purnam Sukhayate. Yeah. Why? Because he's serving Krishna. He's seeing Krishna and serving Krishna and helping others. Yeah. So this is, devotees are happy. And Prabhupada said, if you're not happy in Krishna consciousness, you're doing something wrong. Because that's a natural byproduct of service to Krishna. You become happy. Because that's one of the natures of the soul. Eternality, knowledge, and bliss. That's the nature of the soul. So when we connect to Krishna, we naturally become blissful. Krishna, he's a reservoir of pleasure. A reservoir of pleasure. Everybody wants happiness, but people are going in the wrong direction. They're thinking they're going to get happiness from just some manipulation of matter. But so much frustration. They don't know that if they just turn to Krishna and serve Krishna, then they're completely happy. It's like the example is given of a deer in the forest. He's dying of thirst, and he's not aware that close to him, covered by grass, there's water there. But in ignorance, he doesn't know. So he goes in the wrong direction. He ends up in a desert and dies. So right next to us is the super soul. We just turn and serve the super soul, serve Krishna. Then this is real happiness. It's by service. It's by service to Krishna. Just like there was a survey done to about maybe 200 people. Do you like to give gifts, or do you like to receive gifts? And it was like 80% they like to give. People like to give. That's why actually this movement is all come about by people seeing the sincerity of Prabhupada and wanting to give service and money and cars and all kinds of things because they saw the sincerity, so they wanted to give. So that's actually the whole process of Krishna consciousness, giving service to Krishna, giving service to the devotees. We're not so much interested in getting, but in giving. This is the happiness of the soul. So to give our service to Krishna is the best service. Of course, even higher is service to devotees. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, he says, Mat karma krin mat parama, mad bhakta sangavardi, nirvaira sarvabhutesu yasma iti pandit. That mat karma krin, that one who works for me, everybody's working. Well, not everybody, at least when they get out of school, then they're working. Right? And mostly in the school, they're in school to prepare for the work. They know they gotta go to work. But the best work is to work for Krishna with no desire to enjoy the fruits of the activities. Of course, we can't just give everything to Krishna. We've got to pay rent. You got some bills to pay, and you got to get food on the table. But something should be given to Krishna. And then Krishna reciprocates. The more we give to Krishna, the more Krishna reciprocates. He gives also. So it's all about service. Devotees want to serve Krishna. And Krishna, upon seeing the sincerity of the devotee, he wants to serve the devotee. Yeah. Just like Arjuna was on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and Krishna was his charioteer. That's like an Uber.
Mm.
And the reason Karna couldn't be, couldn't go in that competition to get Draupadi, because he was a son of a charioteer, like a Sudra. But Krishna, he likes to say, he's very humble. Krishna is humble. He takes that position of just being a driver. And I heard that because there's so much noise and there's so much, the way the fighter gives direction to the charioteer on which way to go. He gives him a little kick on the side. And so Krishna's getting some kicks from his devotee. And well, he likes that, yeah. A little purification. Yeah. I heard also it was a little, I don't know which one it is, a pat on the shoulder or something. Have you ever heard both of them? Yeah. So Krishna is very humble. And in the at the Rajasuya sacrifice, different people were doing different things. Like Bhima was in charge of the kitchen. He was smart, yeah. He knows where to be. And Karna was in charge of charity. Charity. He was so charitable that it wasn't even Indra came and asked for his armor, and it was actually he was born with it, but he cut it off, gave it. Karna was very, yeah. And what did Krishna do? What was he doing?
Washing the feet.
He was washing the feet of everyone, even those who were enemies towards him. Very humble. So,
was it just the sages, Prabhu, or was it just the sages? Was Lord Krishna washing the feet?
He was washing everyone's feet. Yeah. He's humble. There's no envy. Yeah. So Madkarma Krin, Madparama. So we had to work for Krishna selflessly, with no desire to enjoy the fruits of activities. Of course, we had to do things, but in our heart we should feel like this is for Krishna, because this is what attracts Krishna. Even he says in the Bhagavad Gita that patram pusham phulam toyam, that if one offers me with love and devotion, twice in this verse, he's interested in the devotion. Yeah. This is what is our intention, right? So Krishna he's looking for that devotion, that love. This is what attracts Krishna more than anything. He's the most attractive. Krishna, it means the most attractive person. But he is attracted to devotion. He's conquered and overwhelmed by pure loving devotion. So to work with devotion, this is the highest work. So Madkarma Kran Madparama. Madparama means who sees me as the supreme. So Krishna is the supreme. Now, one of the challenges that Prabhupada had in India before coming here is, why Krishna? Why not Shiva? Why not Durga? Why not Ganesh? Why Krishna? The hodgepodge. Right? So Prabhupada thought, let me just go to America. They're doing all no hodgepodge. Yeah. They don't know anything. It's just a clean slate. Of course, there's Jesus, but Prabhupada went there and just presented Krishna consciousness, and they accepted. No one said, well, what about Shiva? What about Ganesh? What about Brahma? What about this? What about this God? How many gods are there? 33 million demigods. So many. So Prabhupada he was able to conquer, to attract the hearts of the people, because he was so pure himself, and he had a pure message. So therefore, thousands of youth were attracted. Now, when Prabhupada was in India also, he the same person, same purity, same intention to spread Krishna consciousness, but there was already so much that people thought I know Krishna. That's the common thing. Yeah, I know Krishna. Yeah, I have Bhagavad Gita.
Mm.
But 95%, I talk to them all the time, 95% have never read the Bhagavad Gita. They haven't, they go by the shelf. Right? But read it. My grandmother, she used to read, And then when I tell them, you guys, you should read it. You should read it. I read it about 6 times. I actually read it many more times. They won't believe it. It's such an amazing. I couldn't put it down the first time I read it. You should read it. And sometimes say, yeah, all right. Yeah, you got a Westerner here reading it. I guess I should read it. Okay, continuing the purport. There are many other theories, but all these different speculations are at once cleared off as soon as Sri Krishna is realized in truth by the process of bhakti yoga. So this verse, actually this verse that I've been going through, Karma Karma Parma, Prabhupada says in the purport, this is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. This is the essence. This verse is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. Karma Karma Parma, Mad Bhakta, who engages in my devotional service. Mad Bhakta, we're trying to become bhaktas, like Radhanath Swami. He said we should always feel ourselves new bhaktas. Like a new bhakta, he does, he just, wash the pots, take out the trash, we should always feel like we're new bhaktas. If we think that we're, now I've been around a long time. Now I'm a senior devotee. I should get respect. We should always feel that we're servants. And my Radhanath Swami, he's just always thinking about service, and because of that, so many people are attracted. Well, they had the recent yatra. There was 12,000 devotees there listening to class. Only 10,000 could take prasad because that's how many people registered, but they allowed 2,000 extra to come for the class. Amazing. That's when I grew up, I lived in a city of 10,000 people. That was a city. That's a city. 12,000, that's bigger than the city I grew up in. And it was it's like, it's a city, it was like, 10 or 15 square miles. It's a real city. And just by his going there, he attracted a whole city of people. It's amazing. Why? Because he has a service attitude. To have a service attitude. It's so important. And this is what attracts Krishna. Yeah. So Makarma Kran Paramat Mad Bhakta Sanghavartita was free of the desire to enjoy fruit of activities and mental speculation. There's a lot of mental speculation. Yeah. We have these, as Prabhupada, he says, we have what's the word he says? In our mind, we have many ideas, a lot of speculation.
Concoctions.
Yeah, concoctions. In our fertile brain. He says, in our fertile brain, we have many speculations and concoctions, rising in our fertile brain. But so much speculation. Fortunately, we've been given this knowledge, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, so it's clear. Like when I was reading the Bhagavad Gita the first time, I thought, all right, this is it. No need to speculate anymore. This is it. You know, it's such a powerful presentation. You got Krishna and Prabhupada. You know, Krishna's absolute words and Prabhupada's giving his purports, amazing purports. His devotional ecstasies, his purports, his devotional ecstasies. So, yeah, this knocked out all the speculation that I had about, this, about life and this. And so, therefore, we want to give this knowledge out to others so they can also appreciate, the absolute truth. So, Makarma Kurma Par Mad Bhakta Sangha Nirvaira Sarvabhutesu, who is a friend to all living entities. So there's a few places in the Bhagavad Gita also that Krishna, he mentions that he's very pleased when devotees are friendly to others. Krishna's pretty friendly himself. He's very friendly, actually. Even people come to kill him. And still, actually, there's one instance where he said he had to fight with somebody. He kind of apologized. Remember that one? I can't remember the exact. Huh?
Kalia.
Was it Kalia? Maybe it was Kalia. Yeah, because he. Huh?
Later on.
Because Kalia is the only demon that he didn't kill, because he had wives that were devotees, so they were praying for him.
Yeah.
And so he was the only one that wasn't. Yeah, maybe it was Kalia.
One instance I remember when
who else?
When Krishna pacifies Indra, telling that I did this to basically
just to humble you.
To humble you. So
don't take offense. But I think he's right also with Kalia. He kind of apologized. Kalia is trying to kill him, and he's just like, and Krishna's just dancing on his hoods, and kind of apologized. But then he became a devotee also. So Krishna is very friendly, and he likes to see that his devotees are friendly. And it's natural, because if you associate with someone who's very friendly, you become friendly. Just like Vaisheshika Maharaj, he's such a friendly person. I think there was one devotee who was given an offering. He said, I only saw Vaisheshika Maharaj angry one time. He knew him for years in Japan. The driver got lost for like 5 hours or something. He got a little angry. That'll cause him angry. But he's such a friendly person. Therefore, he's one of the most popular devotees in the movement. Him and Radhanath Swami, Kesava Swami, these are probably the most popular devotees. They're so friendly. It's attractive. You're friendly. So, continuing with this purport.
You're also popular for the same.
Huh?
You're also popular for the same reason.
No, I wish I was. By your association, maybe I'll become. There are many other theories, but all these different speculations are once cleared off as soon as Sri Krishna is realized in truth by the process of Bhakti Yoga. Sri Krishna is like the sun. Krishna Suryasama Maya Haya Andhaka Yaham Krishna Tahanaya Mayaya. Krishna is compared to the sun, and Maya is compared to darkness. Wherever there is the sun of Krishna consciousness, there is no darkness. It's just like the sun is coming up now. So the darkness is gone. So the more we're in the light of Krishna consciousness, the more we get enlightened in our spiritual journey. Did you find something? You're looking. As soon as the Krishna sun is arisen within one's heart, the darkness of materialistic speculations about the absolute truth and the living beings is at once cleared off In the presence of the sun, the darkness cannot stand. And the relative truths that were hidden within the dense darkness of ignorance become clearly manifested by the mercy of Krishna, who is residing in everyone's heart as the super soul. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that in order to show special favor to his devotees, he personally eradicates the dense darkness of all misgivings by switching on the light of pure knowledge within the heart of the devotee. Therefore, because of the personality of Godhead's taking charge of illuminating the heart of his devotee, certainly a devotee engaged in his service in transcendental love cannot remain in darkness. He comes to know everything of the absolute truth and the relative truths. The devotee cannot remain in darkness, and because a devotee is enlightened by the personality of Godhead, his knowledge is certainly perfect. This is not the case for those who speculate on the absolute truth by dint of their own limited power of approach. Perfect knowledge is called parampara, or deductive knowledge coming down from the authority to the submissive oral receiver who is bona fide by service and surrender. One cannot challenge the authority of the Supreme and know him also at the same time. It's like someone might be in a university class and the professor is making some point and the students stand up and no, actually, you have it wrong there, professor. Let me tell you how it actually is. That won't be a good thing to do. It'll be hard for him to get a good grade, you know. And he's probably just speculating anyway. So people challenge Krishna also. And they speculate, so much speculation. It's like there's Prabhupada would say how there's one scholar, he would say that it's not unto Krishna that we surrender, but unto the unborn within Krishna. And it's just speculating, total speculation. Where do you get that from? Yeah. And there's another commentator on the Gita, when he reads this verse, Sarvadharmam pratyajya mamikang saranam vraja, abandon all varieties of religion, just surrender unto me, all free of all sin, free action, do not fear. In his commentary, this person says he's asking for too much. Krishna's asking for too much. And people are reading his commentary. Oh, he's an author, he's an authority. All right. Krishna's asking for too much. Yeah. Rascals. This fool doesn't know that if we surrender to Krishna, Krishna gives himself. That's the greatest gift. You can't get better than receiving Krishna. So, one cannot challenge the authority of the Supreme and know him also at the same time. He reserves the right of not being exposed to such a challenging spirit of an insignificant spark of the whole, a spark subjected to the control of the illusory energy. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that what is it? I do not reveal myself to someone who is not my devotee. Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya sama muriyam nabiyan lokayam jama. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them I am covered by my eternal creative potency, yoga maya. So when I read that, I was thinking, yeah, those fools out there, they can't see Krishna. They can't. He's not going to manifest to them. But then after reading it some more, and after some time, I'm one of those fools also that Krishna doesn't reveal himself to. Because I also have my miscomings or misgivings. So yeah, the more we surrender to Krishna, the more he reveals himself. So we just got to keep taking those baby steps. And sometimes if we have difficulty in our spiritual life, and you ever had that experience? Yeah. So Prabhupada gives the example, just like a child, a 1-year-old child, he's walking and sometimes he falls down, right? But then he gets up. So we're taking our baby steps, and sometimes we trip. You just got to keep getting up, continue on, and eventually we'll be able to walk very nicely and even do some acrobatics, do some amazing things. But we just have to continue. Just don't be too hard on ourselves, and just keep on getting up and continuing. And Krishna will help us. The devotees are submissive, and therefore the transcendental knowledge descends from the personality of God to Brahma, and from Brahma to his sons and disciples in succession. This process is helped by the supersoul within such devotees. That is a perfect way of learning transcendental knowledge. This enlightenment perfectly enables the devotee to distinguish spirit from matter, because the knot of spirit and matter is untied by the Lord. But the Lord unties it. Sometimes it's hard for us, but Krishna is so kind. He comes and he's good at untying knots. He's very good at that. And therefore he gives this knowledge. This knowledge is how we get free of this knotted heart. Just keep hearing and hearing and hearing. Krishna gets pleased. And, oh, this devotee is so nice. Let me untie that knot. This is the kindness of Krishna. This knot is called ahankara, and it falsely obliges a living being to become identified with matter. So ahankara means false ego. So there's a false ego, and there's the real ego. Ego just means identity. So false ego, ahankara, means we're thinking that we're American or Indian or Russian or Chinese, or I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor. This is all very temporary, because we've been living a long time, like eternally. And this short time, maybe 70 years, where we have this body, we have this occupation, we have this family, but it's just a short time. And just imagine a string that's going infinitely, and on that string there's one little knot. We're talking about knots. So that's our life. An infinite string and one little tiny knot on that string. That's our life. Just an insignificant little speck on this infinitely long string, which is our eternal life. So in this one little speck of time, we're trying to perfect this life. So we should take it very seriously. Because we don't have to go through this again. Birth and death and old age and disease and all the tribulations, debts and jobs and bosses. Krishna is known as the Kartam Isha. Kartam Isha means the boss. He's everyone's boss. Some people know it, some don't. But when we accept Krishna as the boss and we serve Krishna, he's a good boss. He's the best boss. He's only thinking of our welfare. He has our best interest at heart. This is Krishna. He's the best boss. So that's our future occupation. Serving Krishna. Good boss. As soon as this knot is loosened, therefore, all the clouds of doubt are at once cleared off. Now, this this canto is Prabhupada's in Vrindavan, in his little room there in Radha Damodar. Or maybe that other place before.
Delhi, there's two.
No, he had another place in Vrindavan where he was staying. Yeah. He had another place in India, I mean in New Delhi also. There's three places.
Chittigarh.
Yeah. So he's just, he has nothing, but he's given these wonderful purports. Yeah. At that point, yeah, he was just, basically he was just begging just to get from from the Vrindavan to New Delhi, and didn't have nothing. He's so rich. These purports, just so rich. One sees his master and fully engages himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, making a full termination. There he is, a terminator of the chain of fruitive action. In material existence, a living being creates his own chain of fruitive work and enjoys the good and bad effects of those actions life after life. But as soon as he engages himself in the loving service of the Lord, he at once becomes free from the chain of karma. His actions no longer create any reaction. Get free of the chain of karma. Very attractive, huh? What a beautiful purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any question or comment? Yeah.
Thank you for the class, Prabhu.
You're very welcome.
I have an office colleague, and almost 4 or 5 years back, or maybe 6 years back, me and that person, he's a Christian, and we were in Las Vegas in a conference. So everybody went to party, and me and him was discussing this. So at that time, I was just reading a little bit of Bhagavad Gita, and I didn't have any understanding, not to 1% also. So he was saying then your philosophy is all karma based. You do this and then you everything is karma, work, actions. But here it's just says Krishna can help us to break that karma.
Yeah, break the chain of karma.
It's it's not karma based, then it's Krishna's devotional.
Well, there's Krishna karma.
Yeah, Krishna.
Krishna karma means just activity. Yeah, there's vikarma. There's 3 types of karma. You know that? You know what they are?
Akarma, vikarma, and
Karma. Yeah. Vikarma, akarma, and karma. So Krishna is so open-minded that now vikarma means sinful activity. Sinful activity by which we get a reaction. That's the chain of karma. Now, akarma means one is acting, but just for Krishna. That's Krishna karma. That's pure activity. That's the paramamsa, akarma, just acting for Krishna, not for one's sense gratification. Just focus on, like Prabhupada, he's a perfect example of karma, just Krishna. And then karma just means neutral. He's not sinful nor devotional, but he's just acting. And Prabhupada said that such a person could be a good person, not acting for God, but not doing sinful activities, just a person in the mode of goodness. And Prabhupada said that such a person, he can go to the heavenly planets, just for being a very good person, mode of goodness. Yeah. But he doesn't reach the highest. He can't reach the highest. And actually, from the heavenly planets, people can go to the spiritual world. So they get good association, associate with Narada Muni or some great devotees. That's possible. But see how liberal Krishna is. You could just be an atheist, but a very good person, and you can go to heaven. Just being a person in the mode of goodness. And be elevated from there.
So one question
Yeah.
I had was, so here Prabhupada writes in the purport, this knot called ahankar, it falsely obliges a living entity to become identified with matter. So when does it become loosened a little bit when we come to Sattva Guna? And then as we are
Oh yeah.
and then as we are progressing, then it becomes loosened more and more.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's from the the whole process is to bring us from from ignorance, passion, to bring us to goodness. But even like I said, even goodness isn't good, but from goodness we can shoot off to pure goodness. Yeah. Just like it's like the airport. The airport is good for us to go and get a flight, but sometimes people go to the airport and there's a lot of shops. Sometimes people get lost in the shops and lose their flight. It almost happened to me one time. I was in New Delhi and I was buying it. There was these Skechers shoes. They fit really good. So I was trying them out. I was walking around, see if they fit properly. I almost lost my flight. They were like, "Wait, hey, we've been calling for you. You almost missed your." So I'm sure people do lose their flight because they just get lost in the shops, right? So then, what's the use of the airport? The purpose of the airport, you go there to get your flight out. But if you miss your flight, so the purpose of the mode of goodness is to rise above the mode of goodness, the mode of pure goodness. And if we don't do that, then what's the use even being a mode of goodness? Waste. Yeah.
So one more question. So you've been distributing books every day.
Not every day,
I mean,
but a lot of
almost
days.
a lot of days. So how does how do you feel connected to Srila Prabhupada, and what advice would you give for grihasthas, to I mean, I think Prabhupada emphasized book distribution over I think he emphasized, I mean, he appreciated all kinds of services.
Yeah.
But I think he emphasized on book distribution. So what would you advise, like grihasthas, how can they engage? I mean, do you recommend that everybody engage in book distribution? And
Yeah. Everybody should distribute books. When Prabhupada was here, there was one day a week where everybody would go out Saturday. Even the pujari, he would do a offering, and then he'd go out and distribute books and come back and after an hour and a half and do another offering. So with so much emphasis on book distribution, and here at ISB, I mean, you have probably the best examples of grihasthas in the movement here. Definitely on a high level. They got the Weekend Warriors, and you got the monthly Sankirtan Festival, and ISB was this #1 temple in the country, and it's just only a couple of us are brahmacharis, mainly householders going, distributing books. So you have wonderful examples here at ISB. And there's I know some grihasthas they're working all week, and you can't wait for the weekend to come so they can go out and do what they want to do. They're working, but I mean, as you know, work gets boring. Is it?
it does.
But book distribution, it's dynamic. You're meeting different people, and people are getting books and giving donations, and they're connecting with Krishna. So it's a great activity. That's why I keep doing it. I can't think of anything better to do, isn't it? What's better? Go and get a job, work for a company.
Yeah, I think everybody would agree that ISV, that people want to transition from going to work to engaging full time, especially in book distribution, and even among all the services. I would say book distribution. I mean, because it's it's I mean, it's in Prabhupada got that instruction from his guru, and I think it has a special significance in that
Yeah.
way. But,
And Krishna, he says that anyone who is preaching this message is most dear to me. No one's more dear to me. Prabhupada said, if you want to please me, distribute books. So it's pretty clear that it's what's most needed. I mean, there's so much darkness, as Prabhupada mentions in the purport. There's so much darkness. So when the sun comes up, then the darkness is removed. So there's so much darkness in people's hearts. They don't know what to do. They don't, just absorbed in the bodily conception of life. So when they get this knowledge, the life lights up. Not everybody, but a lot of people. I was just reading this. We have this prison ministry where we send books to prisons, and many of them become devotees. And I was interesting. I was just. I read one letter yesterday, and one prisoner, he was in the prison. A lot of crazy things happen in prisons. I mean, really crazy things. Even one person told me that he saw someone get his head got cut off in the prison. This is in America. I mean, it's just like, it's just crazy things. So one prisoner, he was in the prison. He was just seeing all this madness, and he was just like, it was just, can I survive in this madness? And he was just expressing his heart to Krishna. He's reading Prabhupada's book, he's chanting and everything. Krishna, please help me to survive in this madness, this insanity. And he was crying because it was so traumatic, just being in this. We can't imagine what it's like, in prison. But he was just letting his heart out. And the next day, someone told him that he can now, they have prisoners, they can go out of the prison and come back in the same day. And he also got the best room. They gave him the best room in the prison. And he was just thinking, that's Krishna. Because previously, like he had never done before, he let out his heart to Krishna. Krishna, please, I need help, I need strength, to survive this madness. And he said within 24 hours, this happened to him. He got the best room, and he was able to go out. I mean, not many prisoners are able to do it. You can go out and come back because there's trust. And I guess maybe he does services out there and he comes back or something, But he was like, and everybody was shocked because only very, very, very special cases get that opportunity. And it was just given to him. He never spoke to the warden. He just got that information. Listen, you got this room now and you can go out and come back. He's like, how'd that happen? And Krishna was merciful to him. He saw his sincerity. And that happens on book distribution. Sometimes it's difficult. We pray to Krishna. And then things happen, Krishna, so many times it happens, all these nice people start coming, taking books, and like, well, thanks, Krishna. So, you do book distribution?
Sometimes we go.
Yeah, good.
But we had similar experience, like you said, like in the beginning, no one comes and takes the books, but by the time we are winding up, suddenly someone comes and takes Bhagavatam. And
Yeah. It's reciprocation. You feel the reciprocation of Krishna. That solidifies our faith in Krishna. Okay.
I can ask one more question.
Okay.
So many times I get asked this question that people find working in corporate environment, and I also have the same experience that sometimes it seems meaningless because it's not like very worthy goal that you're, it's not something, it's not like a noble cause
Yeah.
that you're going. So what do we how do we um how do we understand, or how can we basically see it? I mean, do we see it in connection
Certainly
with
see it
Krishna?
as a worthy cause.
Worthy, yeah.
Well, you're working and you're making Lakshmi. So some of the Lakshmi, I'm sure you donate to the temple. So that's devotional service.
Mm.
And some devotees, they also bring books to
Donate books
devotees, to people in work. There's
Mm.
one lady, she I was I think I was in Fiji, and I gave a class on book distribution, and this one lady, she was kind of inspired, so she brought a Bhagavad Gita to her boss
Mm.
and gave it to him, and then a week later she found out that he had retired,
Mm.
and she found out that it was because she had given him the Bhagavad Gita.
Mm.
Yeah, he thought, I have enough money, I don't need any money, I can just retire and take up spiritual life.
Mm.
So this is her boss. So sometimes devotees do things, distribute books to their fellow workers, and you could sponsor books. There's ways that you could use your work in a way that's positive,
Mm.
that's pleasing to Krishna.
Mm. Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
His Vijaya Prabhu ki jai. Hari Bol, Hari Bol.